This day 717 the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like sponsor upcoming Shir the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi or more, please kindly be directly, very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Tov Mem Zion, Sib Zion to Dalid. As you mentioned, Tov Mem Zion is a very long Siman. The only difference between chametz and prohibition is how much need to be mevatel, which by chametz is there is no shear. So because shear is certain about the position by chametz by other certain things nullified. 60 chametz osmashu chametz it's never nullified. But in the quality of the issue, they were not more severe. For example, if in other tarovas you would not require shishim, but you require only peeling or taking the place away where the items came into contact, so the bechametz is the same thing. Which is interesting distinction. And Bialocha Emily does not accept it. He says, according to the Ramah, you should ask for the entire chaticha, the entire piece, on air base of b'shishim and pace of mashu, and only Malcolm Hefseid you can make and be like on take off only kedei netila. Back to Rotev. It's just like by other prohibitions where it's hot and both pieces are hot, but there's no liquid. Coach Nuga Basa and Bela Cham Basuk share, such as where a hot meat from the Bela touched kosher meat. The tzak klipa until smokum, which requires either appealing or removing the place, which is a little bit more obviously. An etzba, fiadim she's bar yerodeh, siman kufay as explained yerodeh. V'zeu she'ein sham davar mifafon, the same which there is no medium which will spread the prohibition. Such as where it's a very lean meat, but fatty meat. Avlim had to shamein, even if that the permitted substance is fatty, but isur cholish and the forbidden substance is lean. Azam fafel isur, it goes, the fat goes and causes the prohibited substance to distribute. She'isur needs pati mina eter, because the prohibited substance it becomes fatty from the permitted substance. Fafel kulan spreads throughout its entirety. But I'm chametz keinu, and that's true by chametz as well. Ches, the field of chik gumatzo cham. Therefore, a loaf matzah, a matzah cake which is hot. Shenoga rikik chum which touch a hot chametz cake. Diably, but sufficient to take off a peel, so to speak, of the matzah. If you're looking for, if you didn't cut it, it would be shlukach and you cooked it that way. Well, even though by prohibition that would be permitted, as you wrote there by and your dad, that kedei klipa is batzel. There's a chametz prohibited. Time to place some mutter. Because that's fair. But because there is no substance which there isn't 60 to nullify the kedei klipa. Zelo shai b'chametz mashu, that's not relevant. Chametz where it says anyway mashu. Those who say that no, it's mutter, that is Chok Yaakov. I don't know why, says Arukh HaShulchan. The Mishnah Berurah says that cham b'cham without rotev, it's like roast, and you need the tila, not klipa. Test avok shesh b'kan shuman hamafafeh, when there's fat which causes the prohibited substance to be distributed. Such as a kugel of chametz shuman which has fat. Filam matzah bashir, or even the matzah is a pashtita. You made a matzah kugel, or mashuach b'shemen, or it has oil inside it, or b'shuman or fat. Also, garments sweet altogether. Does the matzah shmena, matzah which is oily or fatty, goes and fatim the chametz and makes the chametz oily or fatty. And then it's distributed throughout the matzah as well. I've got a shaysim b'inan. By Tur Sham B'Yardesim Kroatia, Isur Azu Cholis Patem. By other prohibitions, it's only prohibited according to Tur when the Isur itself is fatty. But a lean prohibited substance, which is absorbed fat, which has no Isur in and of itself, does not get distributed. The prohibited substance cannot answer more than the Isser itself could have answered. And here the chametz, of course, cannot be spread. The since prohibition is a mashu, also in such cases for usher, at least the mashu distributes. This is only when the matzah touch the oil, the chametz, hashamein, sorry, and the fatty chametz. So you have pieces have matzah and have chametz, called matzah kfula, such as we have a matzah which is doubled over. Was the chametz to regard the area where it's folded over as if it's chametz. And it's oil anointed with oil. And this matzah touches another matzah should only scrap another place where it's not folded over. Mutzeres, the second matzah is permitted. We don't say that shulun fa'afei b'makom hakaful. We don't say that oil spreads from the place where it is doubled over. Makom she'ekavul, the place is not doubled over. V'ava k'noga ava chametz, and if it touched the chametz, i.e. the place where it's doubled over. Because prohibited substances don't go from piece to piece without some sort of liquid medium. If I have a sauce of gravy, if I've got the amount of gamma het in my family, so we said the mutter substance can make the usher substance oily. It can gamma isim my family het, so that's the case. Also, the prohibited substance distributes to the permitted substance. Gam below even without a sauce of gravy. Menas het iser, and the permitted substance becomes like the prohibited substance. If he has her matzah shnia, therefore the second matzah come usher. Come, okay. No, it's not the case. The daf gabin yes heter iser mamish. Only where the heter touches the isser itself, you don't require a liquid. Yes, heter, but if the heter touches heter, if also heter no gil isser, it's kind of like a not by not, right? The heter touches heter, and that second heter is what touches the isser. No, I mean below rotev, you don't say that it diffuses without liquid. Now kula asura shishmena, but if the matzah which had the doubled over part was oily, then it would become usher in its entirety. So negas heter because it's one heter touching one isser, not a heter touching a heter touching an isser. The brackets he says here, Kenny only goes back to that's what it seems to me. Those who hold that does a concept of double mashu would ask here as well. Turkian, it's not clear. They have Ram Sham Nirish Korosol Atir by Gavna. Seems that Ram allows such a case. But since he concludes that that's like by salting, it sounds like he's trying to forbid that piece. The Kamenos of Stumos, what the Magav Ram saying, is hard to understand. A prohibition of chametz b'mashu is only on Pesach itself. Banana era Pesach after Chatzos came with Jane Bokaretz. This is not yet Karetz but the B'shishim. At that time, it's still but the B'shishim, as we mentioned in the Shabur earlier. Koshkin is our Kaima Pesach, so he came mixed up before Chatzos era Pesach. But the B'shishim is now fine 60. Chanas comes Kol Pesachim. All the Pesachim agree with this. Mishabur says, and Yontav Achor, even so it's the Rabbanan, never because fake the Yoima, we still machir mashu chametz. Bialocha writes, although those are Gebrocks are Mako, but obviously that's because Gebrocks is Gebrocks. Bialocha writes that from the Chaber, it seems that it's brought up even mean b'mino b'shishim before Pesach, and chametz is not called Davashish Matir, and as long as Pesach is not yet ensued. So the Ram Shita chametz is Davashish Matir, and only applies on Pesach itself. I think the Arukh HaShulchan mentioned that previously. Okay, back to Arukh says tiny goyless. So therefore, you have a grain of wheat which is found in a chicken. Mibushelis or Pesach, which is Pesach, which is going to Pesach Muteres. It's permitted. It's now fine 60. As long as you throw out the wheat kernel. Mishnah says also has to be cooled down before Pesach. So on Pesach, they're still getting mixed together, obviously. Good point. After you left the kernel of grain inside and you heat it up on Pesach, it gives a taste again. Also, some mashu that forbids in a mashu. Cancer is nullified. That's if they heat up without that grain. They heat up with the grain it's a new absorption. So I feel man the lace they close them in the air, much is bara asura. Even don't hold by other swim that it can be chosm near, can wake up again once it's been nizbatel. Here is also. Dain's a near me. According to time the cycle to be near, but a new belia. Arousal, the old one, but a new one. Yud Aleph. Because Rabbi Rama B'Siv Gimel, Al Din Zeh, V'Zel Shona, Ramites, Miu B'Chim Klisheni Ein Lachush. If the same chicken, if you eat up a klisheni, it's not a problem. V'yesh Machim Klisheni Pesach, V'yesh Machim Klisheni Pesach. There are those, however, are Machim Klisheni. The Tov Achmir Miyatzos, but it's best to Machim if its hand is if it's Yatzuletus bow, which means obviously that it's high enough that the hand can't stand being in there. Otherwise, it's not called klisheni, at least for this purpose. It's clear that he really didn't want to ask her a klisheni. The game of it's only chumras that places where other yisurim but b'shishim chametz is also b'mashu. I have a klisheni which does not ask her by other prohibitions. We made the gam chametz in also shouldn't ask her by chametz. But he says, "Could be magnesh that's a rashba also klisheni gam b'shari surin she'as lesbo." When the rashba klisheni also asks by shari surin in as long as he has lesbo. V'im look kaima cake. What's going to be your day? Even though we don't hold that way, it's in your day. Show me kama chametz yishlachim chametz you have shemi macher. Here the gam be'iroi also by pouring. The Bishari Surim in also the klipa, where in other Yisurim it only asks the klipa of the substance on which it is poured. Gam b'chametz kainu. It's the same thing. Alkem shkasav tov lachmir b'klisheni, but since he says besi macher klisheni, kol shekain b'yirei simish b'macher by pouring. Rishon. Nevertheless, according to strict level of law, should be permitted. Let's say Ruben covet yoktiv. If there's a great loss or the honor of Yom Tov, that perhaps can rely on this. It's Shabbos that you have to spend more time considering this. The Mishnah Berurah says if the kernel of grain did not split, which is indicate fermentation, and it's only soft, and there's hefsim room niyasim chasyotev, you can rely on being mako. The base amnam yeshli tomoa al harama ben rama. We have to be astonished at the rama. Kamasim tov yurat nu now of course pshitos. He later on he writes. Less of a klisheni. A klisheni is usher, just simply usher. Period. The simon tough samach zayin also by feel it's on it. Tough sign for it. Even it's cold. Loivi klashne deus doesn't make two opinions, different opinions about this. Achesh rosh samach rabbeinu b'yisayis sham could say the rely on the b'yisayis there. If he shnei deus b'tzonei brings two opinions by cold, ayin sham. Now kamer chokaf logam it's saying klisheni. It's a long distance, however, to traverse between cold and klisheni. Unfortunately, difficulty in his words. So came to be very shiny. Also, in words of Rishayim, she's tears with Ibrahim. There are contradictions concerning this topic. The Yesh Misharm, those who say that we can't kill here with Liam, they should marry B'chayz of any year. It's talking about where a case was really butter before Pesach. Now you're talking about whether it wakes up again. It's not clear. As he said previously, when he heated up, when the wheat kernel was still inside of Pesach, it's not called reawakening, it's called new blia. If we name it Simatov Nav Yeshli Hashev, I suppose with the difficulty of Nav you can resolve. Shom Lamai Bisamashal and Klish Tamish Bochametz. Klisheni. Not that, but it's in Mashal Chametz, but the parameter of a Klish and Ishtamish Bochametz, which is Klisheni. Can call Kli Balum Chametz, the entire Kli is absorb Chametz. So that means a Mashal, it's not like in a Samashal. Our Messiah Tavis and saying Kosher, the Shah Messiah you base, I can't be Isra Mashu. They say about Isra Mashu, and then evidently say about that even if it's lower Madrin Klisheni, it still answers nonetheless. Shmuel writes in Neinog Avram that that's about by meat which has cracks in it, and also the meat becomes usher by the water which enters into those cracks. Here's talking about a complete slab where nothing can penetrate, and the meat doesn't answer unless it's hot. It doesn't come out unless it's hot water. Hot water is only called Yatzal Espo. But the water themselves is usher on account of the kernel of grain. The Yesha writes that here the Ramah is talking about in terms of halacha. It says Tov Lachmir L'Chush Das Machmirim. It's Besi Machmir. But Shmuel there he's talking about Minhag. Shenog Lachmir, but saying the people are at a minute to make a eat my cold. And It's a minhag. If you make it, b'shas chak, you don't lose. Your gimel. Veneer the davkam bechita b'tarnagos fluya below rota. He says specifically over here, where we have a roasted fowl without any liquid. Here it does not say klisheni. Sheishin they would see olam ain't also rakadin because some say by tzli it only answers any time kadin tila. Yesh also kulo. Those are also nevertheless in its entirety. With time shebei satzliya hashbu sapech chol because when you're roasting it, the spit turns over to all sides. Otherwise, Enos would not be also in its entirety. Most because our baby says, "Steve 7:9, Steve 10:12, Ein Shom." Shamai b'chusha there say about where it's lean. With Shemena also where it's fat, the whole thing is awesome. She's bar must become clarified there. Miyaka upon never in any event, but sliya kilotun b'shamayim. If you're roasting, it's much lean and cooking in water, so medium. And avogad the married then goes to bushel. So here, even though it's about a cooked bird. Come never so married to move a Pesach. It's not mine. When it got heat on Pesach, it was without water. You like kale with klisheni, that's lean by klisheni. El the toy bachmi is best. You machmi is Brahma writes. She can see with similar tough some zayin, but in tough some zayin, married by mine. It's about where it's in water. Okay. Also, some see if you base maliga klisheni. That's why it forbids their the thing of feathers of klisheni. I feel with soynain even if it's cold. The nearer the betsoynain. Water makes things go around. The saying ain't also rock b'shosham's man harbe. Gotta spend some time in the water or the word asa. Kishtam shows 2 or 3 hours. Have a lobas on up in a short amount of time. Me with cliche, she has lispo, but cliche where it's got lispo. Asur miyat, it's also immediately mashing cliche is supposed to roast cliche, which requires moisture. Sharatin writes that by it's cold. Also, again, same thing. Has to spend a little time in there. That he says the shears until the grain becomes soft. Yudav, because Rabbeinu says Steve Dav, in Misar v'chometz kohen on Pesach, if the chometz got mixed up before Pesach, is batel, and became batel b'shishim, and because when you're Pesach, last Mashu doesn't get woken up on Pesach to forbid an Isser Mashu. Shlokim, those argue, I couldn't show them. I know, Kechita, Shakatani goes by Pesach, it's like the case of the kernel of grain in the fowl from Erev Pesach. Play man took it out of there. The Chimateres and they cooked, heated up the fowl on Pesach, and it's a chesvanir. The Isser is not aroused again. Mr. says everybody agrees with this because it's just tam ba'alma, no substance. The chametz is bad on Pesach. Any type of chametz, any type of chametz, which is nullified for a Pesach. Imenu chametz nikar with the odds of Pesach. Chametz is not recognizable by itself. Pesach and the side garment became completely mixed in. I feel yavish, even dry. Could go to start pure chametz, I pure matzah, such as regular breadcrumbs got mixed up with matzah crumbs. That's a meal. Ain't no choice in here doesn't get aroused again. Ain't post to a road posting. Ain't post west way. If you ride me other than line, where it says semra gemalim and semra chelim, if you have wool from a camel or wool from a rabbit, shetorf and zebazeh, which you mix together. I'm sorry, not semra chelim, wool from a sheep. You have camel sheep, which is camel wool, which is not a problem with line, and sheep wool, which is a problem with key lime. Mix them together. In Robin Agmal is bato. In most of the world, from the camel, it's bato. Mutu chabachar pisha. And put together with linen. Lomina Isser Kazmir. Don't say the Isser wakes up again. And he's 19 years the Gamra is doing so. I think says Arukh HaShulchan that this rye is unnecessary. The Bishlam Misham Nishvasi Davar Ma Achra Pitu Asimur. Of there, when something was added after the bittul, which is usser, the linen, together with the mixture. Together with something which is in the mixture, the sheep wool. Explains. It's like there after sulfide in the camel wool. It's connected with the linen. Which when put together with the wool, sheep wool, they're together. They have to come on to that doesn't get aroused again. Nothing's added. It's already bottle. But you can say about goes as much of Pesach because 7 6. No, the Pesach comes that could be the Shalisser. For safe Isser Mishimashu, out Isser Shishmakoyim that the Isser Mashu was added on to the previous Isser Therefore, perhaps that's why there's a possibility that here we do say that it is something new, and therefore should be awesome. And we'll continue with this tomorrow.